Hey YouTube, come on into my world, Steffi's world. I wanted to do a recap of Power Book 3, Raising Kanan, episode 204. I have been reviewing because I said I wasn't going to, but I changed my mind last night. So instead of going to the club paint, which I'm having paint withdrawals too, I decided to see about a little Raising Kanan around midnight last night, which is really 11 p.m. my time down here in the dirty. So this episode was titled Pay the Toll. And it starts off with see the guys stashing product and they're headed over to New Jersey. And the narration is everybody scheming. Well, when Rock's people get over to New Jersey, right after getting off of the Pulaski Skyway, which I remember, I went to Jersey back in the day. Big ups to my family still in Newark. A guy's in the crosswalk. Dude's at the light, and the guy proceeds to tie his shoe, which me, not so much as down here in the dirty where they do stunts like that. And the D, that definitely would have told me, yep, the D was my home for 10 years. That would have told me, put that car in reverse or swerve or get out of there. Something just didn't seem right. But dude stops to tie his shoe, and you already know what it is. It's a setup. Because when he comes up with a gun, and another one pulls the guy out of the vehicle and proceeds to beat the crap out of him and sends a message about something about don't be coming from New York to Jersey. So they did that to send a message. It cuts to Rock hanging with, I think his name is Cartier, which will always be my Hollywood from Queen Sugar. I love his character. And she told her, you ain't fooling nobody with fancy talk. They looking at art and just kind of chopping it up. And he asked her, what does she have too much of that she just needs to get out of her hands? And she said, cash. And they talk about his business, and she puts two and two together that he's cleaning his money through the art. So I see a partnership there. And Kanan is going up to the prison to visit somebody, which is his Uncle Vernon. All I could say, Uncle Vernon is a trip. We all got one in our family because when he sits down behind that glass, he's like, who the F are you? And he was like, oh. And they have a conversation about Kanan's father. I'm using air quotes because we already know what it is. And when he gets back to the car, I see counseling is helping Marvin because he had a whole talk to him about family and this, that, and the other. But the uncle left Kanan with, now it's time to get it. It's time to do and follow in his father's footsteps, which I think his father was called Def or Def Con. And Lulu is at this studio, but the equipment is gone. Basically, the board. And before I knew it, Lulu was up around Crown's throat. He gonna be up around his throat in more than one way, in other ways, once he found out what's what, because it is coming. But yeah, he was up to his throat. And cutting back to Kanan, he was real confused after that visit with the uncle, because it's just like, you telling me this, Detective Howard has told me that, moms ain't really telling me nothing except not to listen to Detective Howard. And he is just confused. Jukebox is at her mother's house. She gets up the courage, she rang the buzzer, she goes up, and her mother said that she was a wonderful surprise. And she calls her Laverne. And just don't take no short. She cuts right to the chase. Why did you leave me? And mom straight up told her, she was young. She wasn't sure about Marvin. She went to LA to try to sing, and she was going to come back and get her. Before she knew it, you know how life gets in the way, 10 years had passed. And her mom said that she's looking at this as God bringing her back to her, and she should be with her mother. And she's not asking for forgiveness, she's asking for a chance. So it looks like Laverne or Juke is willing to give it to her. Um, Rock is speaking with Lulu and Marvin. Kanan's in his room and it has a smell in it. And I'm thinking that's where they latest murder. I'm thinking they put him in there. But any rate, his room is stinking. He found some shoe boxes in the closet and he decided to take a stack. He decided to take a little money. I don't know what possessed him to do that, but he did it. And Lulu and Marvin are talking to Rock about the Italians. Like the Italians not having them just come into Jersey and just set up, you know. And she pretty much was like, she there to solve problems. Lulu is trying to tell her, maybe we need to just pause on this. You know, let it kind of cool down. And she like, no, she wants a meeting with the Italians. Told them to set it up. Unique goes to the store. And he is terrorizing Juliana. And he gonna be a problem. He gonna be a problem. And he has this woman shook. I mean, if you had kidnapped me and had a gun to my head, I ain't too sure that I would want to be seeing you up in my place of business. Lulu asked Rock for some money, and she was like, "I got you," but she already told him. Then you got to be about the family business. This is about our business. You know, she ain't down with his studio stuff. Kanan asks, "Why did you want me to kill that cop?" She chose her words very carefully. And she said that, you know, she played the cop angle. He can't be trusted, you know, this, that, and the other. He was going to keep coming from them. So she really played it up. Juke walks into her room. It's all neat, cleaned up, fixed up, bowls on some certain things, been repainted, neat. Marvin did it. She grabs a few things for the closet, walks right out, don't even talk to him, don't even acknowledge him. Rock, Lulu, and Marvin met with the Italians. And you know how the guy get out the car. So you the broad that's causing all the problems. And she ain't even trying to have it with him. And it's Mr. Bruselli. And he was pretty much like, you don't come over here and set up without talking to us. You just don't do that. So he told her, I'm going to make you a one-time final offer. Rock didn't even look at it, crumpled up the paper and threw it on the ground and turned around and walked off. I thought they was going to light all of them up. And Lulu was trying to just say, no, you know, it wasn't meant like that. And she pretty much was like, I don't need you talking to me. And she checked the mess out of him. And he told her straight up, I'm talking about Mr. Rosselli, you got to pay the toll. You got to pay the toll. And in my mind, for some reason, coming from New York to Jersey, I was thinking the tunnel. But no, it was the Pulaski Skyway. And I think about I think New Jersey Parkway. Those are toll roads. You got to pay the toll to drive on it. So he pretty much like, when you come across, you know what you got to do. So Lulu told her, if they come for one, they coming for them all. And he said, this some mafia shit. Kanan gets famous a spot. They in there having a party. There's a knock at the door. Kanan opens the door. It's the neighbors, mama and daughter team. And I don't know what that angle was about, but the little girl was pretty much giving him the look and making moves on him, and the mama too, which was paid by KJ Smith, which is from Sisters. And him and the young lady is kissing and getting real cozy. I don't know what direction that's going in and why. Detective Howard is with his I'm gonna call her his lady friend, because come to find out they got history of 7 years, so they got a situationship. Even though it's a paid arrangement, it's still a situationship. And he tells her that he has a son and that he doesn't even know how to handle this, and she pretty much like, you're not his father, you know, just try to show up and be there for him. So they're talking about that. She's trying to guide him and help him out. Jukebox tells Rock that she saw her mother, and Rock's back to her, but she has this look, and she really tries to mind of her, you know, people just showing up and they ain't been there. And Juke is kind of like looking at her out of a cut eye like, That's my mama you talking about. And she knows that she not telling her everything about that situation. It's more to it. Well, the missing money is found. Marvin tells Warrell that they about, I think he said 600 short. And he was like, somebody's skimming. And this is going to be the biggest mess when they find out it's Kanan. I don't know why he would want to do that. Crown Camacho comes over the famous spot and he gives Juke, for some reason, a track. She takes it, but she ain't feeling him. Lulu has a board. He got it from Cartier. And Cartier tells him that the speed of the boss is the speed of the team. And he was saying basically to set the tempo on stuff. Juliana talks to Rock about Unique. And she pretty much is telling her, like, I'm not playing your game. You know, Rock tell her it's a game. And I'm with Juliana. You done kidnapped me. You done put a gun to my head. And now you up in my store walking in and out like it's all good. It's not. So I feel some problems there. Juke has some dresses. And she says she's going to church with her mom. She tells Kanan that she met her and that she's going to church with her. Rock is looking at a house out in a tree-lined street out in the suburbs. And she's with Symphony. And she called him and he asked her like about that night when he took Kanan out of state, and she just was saying that she was getting him to safety, and he's just kind of like looking at her. And Detective Burke goes to see Unique, and I'm sick of her, and we know she gonna be her demise being in people business, and she over there trying to talk to him, and he ain't having it. He even tries to give her, as I call the ghetto version of the Serenity Prayer. But he told her, you know, give him the strength to accept the things that he cannot change. And he was like, he ain't giving her nothing. Symphony pretty much tells Rock, stop calling me. He knows that she doesn't want him in her life full time. And he's just like, let me go. And he never wanted to be her vacay. She treated him like a vacation, and he said, I wanted to be your home. And I thought that was ironic, being that they're standing in front of her new home, but he's not going to be there. I believe that if she calls and she's really in trouble, he'll answer the call, but he really not trying to rock with her. She gets the bright idea. We ain't moving it in trucks. We going to move it in school buses. So they try to move the product once again into Jersey. And on this one, Warrell. Same setup, just like we began, it ended. Forced them out of the truck. But on this one, I believe they took them off, that they were coming with the product. I really, because unless they just really patrolling there, so you're going to stop every car that you see a brother driving that's coming over from, no, I don't believe that. So I believe that it was a setup, and he has to put in the call to Marvin. And Kanan goes to see Detective Howard. Rock follows him, and she's just sitting there looking like, what's that going to be? And it goes off with what happened, what's happening, and what's going to happen. So that's how that episode ended. It was pretty solid. Like I said, it's getting real tricky with all of this that's going down. So can't wait to see how things play out next week. And if you like what you heard, click like, share, and subscribe to the channel. I come on with a few reviews and some other things. And you can follow me on Twitter at Cosby, COSBEE. And anything that I do online, I like to close my broadcast with. Until the next time, love one another. Peace.